What's up, fellow 3Ders? 3D Theory here, and today we're gonna unbox the Creality Halot 1 Resin 3D printer, SLA. I know you guys are probably used to seeing me do FDM printers. This is my first SLA printer, and I'm very excited for it. We also got the UW-01 curing station. You gotta have something like this to make it a fun and smooth experience. You don't really need it, but just to have a great experience, I feel like you would need that. This was actually on sale together on Creality Official, and I think I bought this maybe 2 months ago. So it's been sitting around waiting for me to open it. And over here, I got us some UV curable resin. It's basically water based, so you don't have to use alcohol as far as I know. But we will come back to this after we unbox the printer and the curing station. All right, guys, let's see what we got in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and open that up. All right, first thing you see when you open it up, it's just a piece of cardboard in there. Now I'm opening this up here. It's so strange to see Creality in a different form because I'm so used to FDM printers. First thing you see here is the instruction manual. Let's open that up. You got the Halot 1 instruction manual. You got the after sale service card in there. Pretty nice instruction manual. Now we got a different spatula. Pretty cool, okay. Can't wait to use this thing. Comes with a brush, okay. Your USB drive, your thumb drive, with probably some test prints in there and probably the Creality slicer. And you got some strainers over here. So when you want to store your resin back in the container, it doesn't come with a bunch of bits in it, so it's nice and clean. They give you a Creality sticker, which I never really use, and some Allen wrenches. All right, let's see what else is in here. You got your power cable, and you got what seems to be extra film for the vat. Let me see if I can open this here. And I like how it's Creality branded. It's release film for 3D printers. Oh yeah, I don't want to get my fingerprints on it, but there's definitely 2 extra pieces of film in there, which is really nice. All right, now we're just gonna take that top foam layer off, and we got to the 3D printer. It's got a QR code on top. That's pretty cool. And I'm gonna lay this down and take it out. All right, it's not as big as I thought it was gonna be. That's really great. I was really hoping this thing wouldn't take up too much room, and it looks like it's not going to. So I'm gonna just open the seal here, and there may be a seal on the bottom. Okay. We got our amber glass here, which prevents UV lights from coming in, because as you know, resin cures under UV light. This is really well packaged. Let's see if I can get this thing come off. Okay, in here on the top, we got the build plate, and that is super tiny. Oh man, that is super tiny. Okay. That is really small. Oh man, I'm so used to FDM printers that this looks tiny. Here's a phone for comparison. That's smaller than the phone. Well, I guess that's what it's like. I know that there is some printers out there that can do way bigger print sizes, but this is the size this can do. So I'm gonna undo these things here and take out the vat. And here's the vat with the film inside. Seems like there's some stuff there. I should probably get a microfiber cloth and clean that out. Looking good so far. Now I'm just gonna peel away at this. Oh, that's just super clean, super nice. I love it. This amber glass here, or amber plastic. All right, now that we got that unboxed, I'm gonna go ahead and get the power cable installed. And all right, I'm gonna just put this back here and get that power cable installed. And the power cable goes in the back here. It's a very simple machine. You just plug it in and turn it on. You got your carbon filter here, which is really nice. It's a little air filter. As you know, or may not know, resin is very toxic in its uncured state, in its liquid state. So I just checked if this was greased. That was greased. Nice, huge screen. That's really nice. Let's see if I can peel that off. Boy, you need some sort of tweezers to get to that. All right, nice and clean. Oh, I love it. It feels really good, like some really good quality. All right, well, we just got that plugged in, and now let's just turn it on. That is turning on with a little running animation, Creality little character. Now it says File and Settings. I'm gonna go to File. It's got one file on there. Let's go into the settings. We got parameter settings, clean, move the Z-axis up and down, service, device binding, and system settings. I'm gonna click on system settings, see what they got. Some refresh. I think I'm gonna raise up the Z-axis so I can install that build plate there. All right, so I like how the touchscreen is very responsive. It's very nice. All right, I click clean here, and as you can tell, there's some UV light being shot out of there, and that's what really makes the 3D printing happen, is it cures the resin, and the fan's turned on. I'm gonna turn that off there. See if I can actually raise the Z-axis here. I clicked on auto home, so it's going up there. And I think this is how I'm gonna be able to attach this on, because it's moving up, but it's moving up at a really slow pace, but it's okay. So I think I can install this now. So I'm gonna press stop. So it's stopped. I'm gonna unscrew this tab here. Really nice, everything is like solid metal. There you go. I'm just gonna tighten the top knob there and continue to auto home it. And this thing is just gonna continue rising, as you can tell. All right, it leveled out. There's this leveling tab here, and I think it's gonna push all the way back down onto the film there. So what I wanna do is make sure that these 4 screws here are loosened so it can level out on its own. And then once the Z-axis is leveled out, I can tighten it back up and it'll be nice and straight. You actually level it this way. So you turn it on, then you go to settings, then you go to Z motion, then you go to Z-axis movement, and you click auto home. Now this is gonna take its time moving up. Now we can stop it for a second. And I'm gonna take this build plate off, and I'm gonna take out the vat. Then we're gonna continue auto homing it. While that's auto homing, I'm actually gonna loosen up these 4 screws. Now that the build plate is loose, we're just gonna wait until that auto homes. Now, while the build plate is still loose, I'm gonna install this here. I'm gonna use this sheet of paper from the instruction manual and click level. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna rip out that sheet and just place it there. I must say this thing is incredibly quiet. You don't really hear anything. If you weren't staring at it, you would think this build plate's not even moving. But going back to this, keep in mind that this build plate is loose, so it's gonna bring down the Z-axis to the base there. And I believe this paper is gonna act as the thickness that you would see for the vat here, the little film in the vat. Okay, now it reached the bottom there and it pushed it down ever so slightly past the point where it is able to wobble. Now I'm just gonna make sure this thing is held down, and I'm gonna tighten it back into place. I'm gonna give it its last tightening. All right, that's ready to go. This is nice and tight. And again, I'm gonna click auto home so it raises up. That's a lot easier in terms of leveling than you would see with the FDM printers. So that's pretty easy and it's good to go. All right, I'm just gonna stick this guy on here. And this is ready to start printing. But we're not gonna do that just yet. We're actually gonna unbox the curing station now. I'm so used to the CR10 Smart having a shut off button, but this doesn't. So you just gotta shut it off from the back. While the Halot 1 is just hanging out over here on the side, I'm gonna start opening up the UV curing station, which is the UW-01. All right, let's get this unboxed. So we got our manual here. First thing you've seen, it just comes out like that. And it says the washing and curing machine user manual. You also get a thank you letter, as well as the after sales service card. Then there's this white box along with what seems to be the power cable. Yep, so it's a 2-part power cable. And we're just gonna plug that in here. We got the turntable that's in there. It's like a mirror. Really nice, reflect the UV light. All right, same thing. It's just snugly placed in there with a QR code on top, wrapped in plastic. I'm gonna turn this over and start taking it out. All right, this feels almost heavier than the Halot 1. Nonetheless, here we are. And again, I'm just gonna cut the tape that's up top and probably also at the bottom, yep. Seems to be like an orange color as opposed to an amber. We'll just set that up top like that. Covered in plastic again. Looks like we got a bearing in there with some more Allen wrenches. In here we got some, looks like we got some sort of holding brackets of some sort. We got our basket to put into the water so it can clean itself, or alcohol. And a nice little bucket it came with. Let me take out that last foam layer. And it's got a little fan in there that's operated most likely by magnets. I can see some magnets on the bottom there, yep. So there's definitely operated by magnets. And you can close it to prevent odors if you want to just store it away like this. This isn't closing so easily. Let's see. There you go. There you have it. All right, so I assume you would put this here, and likewise, this would go there. All right, so that's really cool. This is actually for supporting the build plate. So you can put this here and attach your build plate to it while it's in the bucket, and it can clean that way. Likewise, you have this one for the same reason, it's not adjustable. Maybe this is for really tall ones and this is for shorter ones. If it's a long 3D print, you can adjust it as needed. And that one is in a fixed position. So that's really cool. So I'm gonna pop the power cable on and we'll get this turned on and test it out. So here's the power cable. Place the cable in the back here. There's a nice little metal on and off button here, so I'm gonna click that on. Immediately the fans turn on. You got both in what looks to be Chinese writing and English writing. You got wash, quick, cure, normal, slow, start, pause. You have your play button, pause button, time, speed, and mode. So let's say I just finished up a 3D print and I wanna clean it out. I'm gonna keep it on the wash. Let's do a quick wash. Time of 2 minutes. And you can press the time here to increase. It goes 15, 20. I wonder when it'll reset. It's going all the way to 90. Cool. So 5 minutes there. Then there's one thing I forgot to take off, which is the plastic off of the top part here. So I'm just gonna press play. That's really cool. Can you hear the fan going? Inside the fan is going. Let me see if I can show you. That fan's going in there. And when I press pause, it stops. And it's run by magnets. That's really cool. And likewise, if I want to use this turntable to cure, I would do something similar. I'd grab this turntable here. It has two little teeth on the bottom. So you just match up the teeth there. Once that's matched up, you would essentially put your 3D model there. In this case, we'll put my little master multitasker 3D model I made, cover it. And by the way, that's FDM printing. I'm just using it as an example. Then I'll switch it to cure mode, 2 minutes, press play. Same thing, fans turn on, UV lights turn on, this thing's spinning. Got a mirror plate down at the bottom, so it reflects the UV lights back up on the bottom. There you go, this thing is great. I love it. All right, I'll see you guys at the computer to see what's inside the SD card. From there, I got a really cool 3D model that I downloaded off of Thingiverse, and I'll show you and I'll share it with you. And we're gonna actually 3D print it on the Resin 3D printer. And that's gonna be our very first resin print using an SLA 3D printer from Creality here on the 3D Theory channel. All right guys, I'm very excited to show you all this stuff. I'll catch you at the computer. All right guys, so that thumb drive is loaded in here. We got the user manual as well as the Halot box software. We also have an unpacking video, and it's that same sample 3D printing file that came on the Halot 1 itself, so we won't be needing this either. And here we got the Halot box, so I'm gonna go ahead and install that really quick. While we're here on the computer, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be 3D printing. If you guys haven't seen Puss in Boots 2, it's a fantastic film. The big bad wolf, personified as the figure Death, is an amazing character, totally frightening in this movie. If you guys get a chance, do check it out. So I went ahead and found this model on Thingiverse. It's by Printed Obsession, and I just think it's a great model. And you got a lot of details here in the legs, in the coat, in the fur, teeth, and also on this scythe. You have some writing on there, so I figured this would be a great example to print on the Halot 1. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and come over here to Thingiverse and you can download this model and follow along. So I went ahead and I checked to see if the Halot box software was the latest that came with the USB drive, and it wasn't. There's a version 3.5.5.1. So that's the one I downloaded. I got Windows, you could also do it for Apple here. And so this is the new version. It's much better. So I went ahead and I actually turned the wolf how it needs to be, so it has good print quality. And I added some of the supports there, and it's very intuitive. You got your layout, you go to support phase, slice phase, export phase, and it's all just so intuitive that I don't even really think it needs a whole lot of explanation. But that's pretty much it. I am using specifically the water washable resin, so it gives you the option to do water washable resin, and it locks in all the parameters here. But when I took it over to the Halot 1, it also had a firmware that was not compatible with this new version of the software. And what's really cool about it is you just connect to Wi-Fi on the Halot 1, and you can just pretty much click refresh and do a remote download of the new firmware, and that's exactly what I did. And right then and there, I had the new firmware compatible with this new software version, and it was ready to go. And so I sliced it, and now it's in the Halot 1 printing out, and I'll see you guys when it's finished printing out. Now, I'm actually gonna stick in the thumb drive that we put that Big Bad Wolf model on there from Puss in Boots 2. Great film, by the way. You guys should check that out. That's loaded in there. All right, guys, while that's auto homing, we got the resin here from Creality. This should be a water-soluble resin. It says here, 3D printer UV curable resin, water washable resin plus. I'm gonna give this a few turns, and I don't want to turn it too much so there's not a bunch of bubbles in there. So I'm doing it carefully. And I'm not messing around, guys. I'm putting on my mask and gloves right now. All right, I got my gloves on there. I'm gonna continue shaking this up a little bit. This finished auto homing. Okay. I'm gonna install the vat. All right, I finished installing the vat there. Now it's time to pour in the resin. And remember, guys, this stuff is very toxic, so we want to be very careful. What's nice about this is that there are lines of how much you want to fill it. So I'm actually going to fill it up to the second line. All right, there you have it. Okay, now I'm going to throw on the lid so no UV light gets in there. And from there, I'm going to go back and we're going to get this print started. We're going to go to File, and we're going to choose the file that we created. We copied the file in. It's showing us a nice little preview here. We're going to click Start, and I'll see you when the print is finished. All right, guys, we're in the garage now, and I don't want to get any UV light from the sun coming in when I open up this box, so that's why I'm kind of in this darker area. But I'm going to put on my P95 mask here, open it up, and take out the finished print of the wolf. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. This is officially my very first resin 3D print. Here we go. So it looks like there are areas where it didn't print, like his right leg. It's just flat. But overall, the rest of it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna take the supports off now and put it in the curing station. All right, guys, well, here's the curing station. And I'm gonna bring in the print and just throw it in the water, since this is a water curable resin. Now that that's fully submerged, I'm gonna turn this on. It's on wash. I'm gonna put it to normal instead of quick. I'm gonna switch it over to 15 minutes. We'll throw on the lid and press play. I'll see you when the wash is complete. All right, while that is washing in the wash station, I'm going to use the filter that the machine came with and put back the resin back into its bottle. I'm just unscrewing the vat, and now I'm just going to pour in from the vat back into the bottle using this filter that it came with. All right, 15 minutes has passed here, so let's check this out. All right. That's looking nice and clean, if I do say so myself. And using that spatula here, I'm gonna take it off the build plate. That came off really nice and easy. And for this part, I'm gonna wanna remove the water, and I'm gonna put that turntable on here. All right, while it's in a soft state here, I'm gonna wanna take off the supports. Okay, everything is looking good except that leg. This leg here, and I don't really know what happened to it, but everything else looks really nice. So with that, I'm just gonna place this little guy on the curing station. Place that cover on there, switch it from wash to cure. I'm gonna cure it for 10 minutes on normal. Click play. And that's gonna cure nice and good. All right guys, now that this is cured, we can take a look at it up close, and it's looking pretty decent. I really like it. It does a great job. The Creality Halot is an amazing machine. Oh man, it's great. Only thing that I don't know what happened was this right leg. It's just flat and smooth. Don't know what happened with that leg. But other than that, that thing is looking great. Overall, I like the quality of it. A lot of the reviews that I was seeing were talking about how when you pause it, it doesn't rise. The slicer software, Halot Box, was clunky, but all of that has been resolved. Halot Box was very smooth and intuitive. When I pressed pause, it raised up and let me see what I was printing. And I think that the Creality Halot 1 is a great SLA printer, even for beginners. Well guys, if you like this video, if you like this review, unboxing, please click that like button, go ahead and subscribe, and click that notification bell if you want to be notified when I release new videos. And we got some really cool projects coming your way, guys. Stay tuned. Till next time, peace, love, and joy.